We did that, right? Oh, start it now.
No, it's fine. I'll edit it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so welcome back, guys. We are second year account sciences students, but we actually want to take a step back quickly and talk to you about like first year stuff and then a little bit about second year. So in first year, do you want to run that through what subjects we did?
In first year, we had 2 semesters. So how uni works is 2 semesters. There's 4 blocks, 2 blocks in a semester. So if you're in high school, think of it as terms. Block 1 is obviously term 1, block 2, term 2. And then those are cut into semesters, like where you have your June exam in high school. That would be our final exam for semester 1.
Yeah.
And then November exam will be your final exam for semester 2, where the big marks come into play. So in first year we had, for first semester, so block 1 and block 2, we did AIS, which is Accounting Information Systems. We did Financial Accounting. We did
microeconomics
as well as Computational Mathematics. And for semester 2?
Yeah, so then semester 2 we did Financial Accounting again. It's like a year-long subject, that one. And then we also did Macroeconomics, we did Business Statistics, and then Commercial Law. So now we'll give you like a brief overview of what each of these subjects entail. Your biggest one is by a long shot Financial Accounting, and you can't really speak too much, but it's very different from accounting in high school. He did actually do accounting in high school, so actually side notes of that. You don't need to do accounting in high school to do the CA stream. You can actually cope fairly well. A lot of people actually did quite well, and also surprisingly. But yeah, there's actually ironically little link between high school accounting and the accountancy in university. It is, I want to say harder, but I don't want to say it in a demotivating way. It's just a different way of thinking. The first test, you still wrap your head around it, and then you do ease into things. It changes again a bit in second year, and we'll talk about that later. But you want to talk through your experiences as someone who didn't do accounting in high school and how it was like?
It was quite scary. I came into high school like financial accounting, the big accounting of the big. I came into financial accounting not knowing what a debit and credit was, from besides grade 8 and 9. But the way Wits, because we're from Wits, we can't speak for other universities, unfortunately, but they introduced it in such a great manner, and they did ease me into it. I did struggle for a majority of the year, but I caught up my lead and I did pass first year, which is great. This is quite great. I actually know another person who didn't do, his name is Michael, another person who didn't do accounting in high school. He's not excelling, he's getting A's in second year, and it's just all about the hard work you put in, I would say. So yeah, looking at it from a different perspective, if the high school side of accounting is the BCom accounting, from what I was told from my other friends, and financial accounting basically goes in depth into why we have these certain rules. So it goes into it. Imagine it as if you were to do history. You're going back and you're looking at why and the steps to why and how we've come to this certain place in time, the present, and those rules. I'm rambling.
No, it's fine. It's actually good for them to get this background.
Yeah. So it's the history and the past of how we have these accounting principles and why they're there, and then the accounting treatment for everything. We use the IFRS standard, so the
International Financial
Reporting Standards. That's the one that's mainly used around the world. So if you are to take this route and follow the financial accounting sector, anywhere that uses IFRS, which is what International Financial Reporting Standards, anywhere that uses IFRS, you can go and work in those countries, which is majority of the world. Yeah, which is majority of the world. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so something I also want to briefly touch on. He actually mentioned it as well. It's why I say it's different to high school accounting is high school accounting was very application driven. So you're either like preparing the financial statements or doing the journal entries. That still exists here, like you still do that, but you're doing a lot of theoretical stuff. So you're going into depth explaining why an asset is an asset, why a liability is a liability. Because there will be cases, you wouldn't think so, like right now in high school, but there would be cases where it's actually not clear whether something's an asset, a liability, equity. So you do then need to like go deep into things and find out what it is. But you'll see more of that in like future videos where we discuss very topic specific stuff. But for now, we just want to give you like a brief overview. So I'm actually going to like shift to talk about accounting information systems.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed accounting information systems. It was LO and steroids, we used to say. We did a lot of ethical backgrounds with regards to the environment. I remember we had a whole section based on global warming. That was quite fun. That was quite interesting. We also went into how business works. They're like going into AI, understanding basically the broader terms of everything in business, which is what AIS is, which is, and your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, so for me, it was quite a nice subject in the sense that it was very diverse. You didn't focus on like a singular topic, you had a lot of stuff relating to business and just like the environment in one big thing. And in the moment, I know a lot of people I spoke to didn't quite like that, but just like find a way to enjoy the subject. Personally, I did, and you'll see in second year, as we're actually noticing now, a lot of the topics you covered in AIS, you're doing in subjects in second year, which actually benefits you a lot because other degrees that like are doing the same subjects as you now, we're getting subjects in a bit, but they hadn't covered that work. So like we look at NPV and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that.
Yeah.
So we actually kind of had the upper hand, which is quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just brief overview on that. Now, microeconomics and macroeconomics, we can cover them in like one breath, but you want to talk about that?
Microeconomics is just looking internally at the state of the economy. Macros, obviously externally, the external factors. How we studied it. So because we're not economics students and because we're not law students per se, we weren't focusing on specific integral parts of law or economics as a whole, because that's not what we're studying. We're studying accounting. However, we were taught a lot of information that would apply to us. So I'm just jumping here, for commercial law, we looked at the law of contracts, and now if we're looking at IFRS 15, which is revenue, it discusses contracts, but not per se, not very in depth as how much we did for law, but anything that's touched upon, we've learned about it.
Yeah.
For second year, I'm jumping now. For second year, semester 1, we had Business Enterprise Law, which covers the Companies Act. I mean, we're not lawyers, or we're not starting to become lawyers in that regard. However, we covered a lot of the Companies Act that we use for auditing now.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, to add to what he said very briefly, I used to be an actuarial sciences student, and I found actuarial science was very laser focused on maths, which got a bit fatiguing in some ways. Not to say that this isn't fatiguing in other ways, but it didn't give you much diversity for your brain to think about. The nice thing about accounting is you're doing quite a lot of things. So it gives your brain like a wide view on what's happening around the world, which is quite nice because then you, quite frankly, a bit of conversationalist, but then also you just have a better understanding of what's going on around you. Now, a quick note on micro and macroeconomics. For me, it was very application based. They give you the papers, it's all multiple choice, so that's quite nice. Practice past papers and you'll do pretty well for, I think it was the same with you.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the past papers, you'll do pretty well there. Commercial law, it was largely parrot learning.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of it, but that's what law is. It's parrot learning. It's like that in second year as well. Actually, we'll make a separate video on the second year stuff. I think this one's got a bit long. And though you guys don't want to like have this super long video to watch in one go, but yeah, commercial law was, as I said, the law of contracts, and it was very kind of different to what you'd be used to study. If you did history in high school,
I did history.
Yeah, likewise actually.
Yeah. Oh.
So history studying sort of helped me for commercial law because it's the same sort of study techniques you'd have used for history. I think was the same for you.
Yeah.
Where
Parrot learning.
yeah, it's just plain parrot learning, and you'll do pretty well for it.
It's a lot of information.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
But then we had like 2 math subjects. So it was APPM. APPM is computational maths. You want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed them quite a bit. We were taught APPM, so computational mathematics. We were taught it very well by our lecturer. So I really did enjoy it. Math and stats in first year were probably my strongest subjects. Yeah, so I just enjoyed math. Computational mathematics went into the went into math such as derivatives, calculus, integrals. It was quite nice. It's not the same as the mathematics you taught for as actual science. It's
Yeah.
completely different. It's like level 1 compared to.
No, but I'll
actual
talk
stuff.
about that a bit.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, we also go into like calculating interest rates, which are now used in financial accounting first and second year. So the degree the degree we're doing is well thought of in terms of what we need to study that will help us in our future, being second year now.
Yeah, so how to put it? It was different to the actuarial sciences maths, but I would say the maths we were taught in computational maths was actually more useful maths. Actuarial science, they were looking at very like niche scenarios that has like 1 in a million chance of happening, whereas here it was very applicable to the financial world.
Yeah.
So yes, we did calculus, and that's basically studying the rate of change. That's the general idea behind calculus. But then we also did a little bit of work on matrices that won't really be that useful in practice to us, but believe it or not, when you work in like an Excel spreadsheet one day, that will help you. And then we also did some work on what's it called? Yeah, time value of money. Time value of money, as I said, interest rates, those sort of things, and you can see the direct link that will have to like the financial world. Then yeah, statistics was, I actually prefer that against the computational maths. I think, yeah, same with you.
Yeah.
Don't talk about that.
Stats was quite nice. Looking at it now, looking at it in first year, I always thought towards DOR and AIS and stats, math, that we wouldn't really need it, which was irritating because you came to university to study what you're going to have an output in the world, in the field you're going to work in. So, but now later on in second year, I see that business statistics, we're using it in management accounting and finance for the mean and standard deviation and variance, which what you'll cover now with stats. But it's quite.
Sorry about that, guys.
But yeah, we do use it. We do use it later on in the degree, which is quite nice as well.
Yeah, so basically what you touched on there is mean. A lot of you guys would have come across that already. It's the average of a data set, basically. Then standard deviation. Did you guys cover that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys already know these terms. Yeah, it becomes quite applicable. Basically, to give you like a brief overview of where it becomes useful, is in the financial world, you probably know about investing in shares as a simple example. And you want to see how reliable that investment is going to be. To check the reliability of that, you can take a look at the statistics side of things. Again, you can use the stuff you learned in computational maths as well. And again, in first year, you can look at it and be like, okay, wait, why am I doing maths? But it is useful later on, so hang in there. You actually find, as we did, your maths modules become like some of the more enjoyable ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that gives them the maths overview of first year.
Yeah, that was first year. It was quite tough, quite an experience. But if you work hard, you'll get past it.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt about that. And again, as we grow bigger, we'll probably create like some sort of Discord server or something. Why not? And then yeah, we'll have that link down below in future videos. You can like speak to us one-on-one. Hopefully we can help you out. If not, I mean, you'll find your way. Believe me, you will. It's a tricky degree. I'm not going to deny that.
It's difficult.
But it definitely is something you can conquer. You want to add it?
Failure is okay. That's what I've noticed. I mean, a few of my friends are still in first year, and in high school, people really it was taboo to fail in high school. Now it's just part of life. Sometimes you get things, sometimes you don't, but as long as you keep moving forward, keep pushing, you'll get your degree. That's where I am now. So
yeah, no, for me it is a matter of failure is often frowned upon. But if you look at, like, just zoom out of life for a bit, it doesn't really matter, because when you're a 50-year-old guy or woman watching this, you're not really going to be caring about that 1 year that you failed.
Yeah, very true.
It's going to be something that happened, you accept that it happened, and frankly, it doesn't matter. So, yeah, I hope this helps you guys out, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one.
Cool. Thanks, guys.